We talk a lot about final girls, scream queens, first victims. And so as I had explained before, the first victims are, the title kind of speaks for itself, but in each Scream movie, the first person who gets killed in the movie, which is in the opening sequence, usually within the first 10 to 12 minutes. With Scream 1, it was Casey Becker. With the other ones, it was Cotton Weary and his girlfriend Christina. Then you had Jenny and Marnie and a few others from Scream 4. And then in Scream 6, there was Laura Crane, Jason, and Greg. And Jenna Ortega, who played Tara, managed to make history, so to say, with the Scream franchise, because she's the first victim to survive a Ghostface attack. And that was in Scream 5. This one right here is according to MovieWeb, how Tara Carpenter stole the show. This Gen Z teenager quickly showed fans that she is much more than a clueless teen waiting to become a victim to Ghostface in the opening scene for Scream 5. The final girl is just as popular as the staple killer when it comes to the horror slasher genre. For decades, fans have rooted for Laurie Strode, Nancy Thompson, and Sidney Prescott as they face off against Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Ghostface. Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and Nancy Thompson, played by Heather Langenkamp, Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell. When Scream released, the franchise introduced a lineup of new characters to the horror genre, including twins, Mindy and Chad, who were the niece and nephew to legacy character Randy Meeks, Amber Freeman, Richie Kirsch, Tara Carpenter, and Scream's new protagonist, Sam Carpenter. Nevertheless, one character stands out among the lot, even more than Sam herself, her younger half-sister Tara Carpenter. This Gen Z teenager quickly showed fans that she's much more than a clueless character waiting to fall victim to this. That I already said that in the beginning. Here's how Tara stole the show. She survives the opening scene. An iconic aspect of the Scream franchise is its opening scene, tense, bone-chilling, and always original. Drew Barrymore established the tradition when her character Casey Becker was killed off less than 13 minutes into Scream. And since any character introduced in the Scream opening meets their eventual demise after a game of cat and mouse with Ghostface. In Scream 5, Tara manages to do something never before done by another character, survive her opening scene. Tara uses her every available resource at her disposal, her stab knowledge, her phone, a knife, her hands and feet, to fight back, and despite sustaining several wounds, she holds out long enough for the paramedics to arrive and tend to her injuries. But what truly makes Tara shine is her tenacity. Tara is intelligent, brave, and a fighter. Even had she died in her opening scene, Tara would go down as one of Scream's strongest heroines. She is quick on her feet. Not only did her mental aptitude allow her to fend off Ghostface long enough to be saved by the authorities, she manages to survive every attack after. Even with a broken leg, injured arm, and multiple stab wounds, Tara fights for her life when caught all alone by Ghostface inside Woodsboro Hospital. In Tara's final battle against Ghostface, who was Amber, she again uses every available resource to fight off the killer and gives Sam, Sidney, and Gail the opportunity to retaliate. She defeats Ghostface. She not only survives every encounter against Ghostface, she ultimately defeats Amber herself with a clever line referencing her earlier commentary about The Babadook being her favorite horror flick. Tara fatally shoots Amber and saves the day, paying homage to Sidney Prescott by shooting the killer in the head. Similarly to Sidney is most Scream sequels. In the head, similarly to Sidney is... Okay, I think that was worded a little bit wrong, but I think you get the gist. Additionally, while Sidney has been preyed upon countless times by different incarnations of Ghostface, she rarely had to defeat Ghostface while recovering from severe bodily injuries. Tara is undoubtedly a force not to be reckoned with. And so that is true. And I think what that does is it'll open the door for us to have other first victims in the future who might survive, whoever they may be. There's a couple of sources that indicate that Christina Carpenter could make an appearance in an opening scene and survive that and then become a prominent figure in the movie. Now, I don't know when or even if they plan on doing that. That might be Scream 7. It may not be until, if they do Scream 8. Who knows? Best character development. When she's first introduced, she seems like a pretty normal teenager with an interest in the elevated horror genre over classic slasher films. After surviving her first attack, she shows a more vulnerable side, specifically when pertaining to her half-sister Sam. Tara harbors some resentment towards Sam for abandoning the family when she was a teenager, and then revealing a big family secret immediately after Tara's life-to-death encounter with Ghostface. Nevertheless, Tara's maturity comes to surface when she forgives Sam soon after and then fearlessly battles Amber to defend her half-sister from certain death. From beginning to end, Tara continues to grow as a character, making her a top-tier final girl material. Jenna Ortega's acting. Any horror final girl is only as memorable as the actor portraying them. Jenna Ortega delivers the performance of a lifetime as Tara Carpenter. In Tara's opening scene, audiences are introduced to a teenager whose naivety fuels her flirtation with a charming stranger over the phone and her sudden shift to horror when realizing the twisted game she's been lured into. Seeing Tara attacked by Ghostface is heart-wrenching because audiences are invested in her well-being. She is someone who has won over loyal Scream fans in the 10 minutes she's been on screen. As the film unfolds, Tara's struggle becomes increasingly relatable as she reconnects with her estranged sister while dealing with Ghostface's continual attacks. She exhibits an emotional range that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats whenever she's on screen. Only 19 years old, she has a lengthy horror repertoire under her belt. From The Babysitter Killer Queen, You, Insidious Chapter 2, Studio 666, X, and most recently, Wednesday Addams, Jenna Ortega has established herself as a scream queen of this era and is a worthy fit to take the mantle from Neve Campbell as a secondary final girl of the Scream franchise. Again, now that also brings in another conversation. I still don't know for sure that Sydney is going to return, but at the recent convention I was at least 2 or 3 different people said that they were sure she was coming back. One guy said it was confirmed through a source. I haven't found that source yet, but I think that Ortega has done pretty well for herself and has really made herself a name in the horror genre. So I'm excited to see what Scream 7 is going to bring us and other horror films, other possible sequels or whatever else she may star in. I'm really thrilled to see what opportunities will rise and what the plot lines and the stories are going to bring us, what season 2 of Wednesday Addams is going to bring us. I also have to check out You, and I have to check out some of the other ones on there. So that's that. There's more to come.